Today we're going to be doing a demo on how you can catch beavers, the different sets that you can make. There's about a million different ways that you can catch them, but there really is only probably 2 to 3, maybe even 4 options that you have to guarantee yourself success. Well, the first step is you obviously have to find beavers. You can't just set a trap in the water and expect to come back the next day and catch a beaver. Well, right here we've got a beaver dam to our right, and then we've got a beaver hooch up on the pond above us. So they're obviously here. There's beaver chew sticks, and we've been called in here to remove this dam. The 3 best options that you have is to make a Castor mound set, which requires you to dig a shelf out in the water, you place your trap, and then you use some sort of a Castor lure. In this case today we're going to be using Stettler and Stettler Beaver Buster. Other acceptable options would be Caven's Timber or Backbreaker, if you've ever heard of either one of those. Another good way to catch them is to bust out the dam and either place a 330 conibear or to put in some sort of a larger beaver trap. The only beaver trap, the footholds that we use would be TS85s, Bridger number 5s, coil spring or long spring, MB750s, the traps of that nature. You want a big heavy trap, that way whenever you catch a beaver and it swims out into the water, you have a good chance of drowning it so you don't lose the animal. I'm going to demonstrate first how to set a Castor mound set. First thing you have to do is dig yourself a shelf out in the water. Try to keep yourself a couple guide sticks off to the side. Beaver chew sticks are preferable. And the thing about beaver trapping is, when all possible, you want to try to catch them by their back foot. And the reason you want to catch them by their back foot is because whenever you catch them by their front foot, if they don't drown right away, you run a really good chance of losing them, because their front foot is so small compared to their back foot. They'll twist it off and you'll lose them. So make sure you get yourself a good deep shelf dug. Always account for the water coming up or going down. So if it's raining the day before and you think that the water could come up, set it, I don't know, 8 inches to 10 inches deep. If the water's going to go down, set it anywhere between 12 inches and 20 inches deep, because you want to catch them by their hind foot. You want to catch them when they're coming up out of the water to sniff or to smell your Castor mound set. So make sure you get it nice and deep. We're setting in a small creek that's being fed by a small pond, so I know that the water's not going to drop any more than 3 to 4 inches tonight. And the only reason that it would drop is because I'm getting ready to put a small hole in their dam, so I don't have to make this set extremely deep. So get all your mud up there for your Castor mound, splash water on it, slick it up real good, make it look like an animal did it. You don't want it to look artificial, you want it to look as natural as possible. Alright, once you've got that taken care of, today we're going to be using a Bridger number 5 double long spring. These traps are a lot harder to set than a coil spring, but they're heavier, they drown the animal faster, which is very ideal for what we want today. You take your trap, make sure that you've got it set to where the beaver step in it. It's always best to try to offset your trap a little bit, either to the left or the right, just because a beaver is going to swim straight into this, but they don't have a foot in the center of their body. Their feet are obviously on the right and left side of their body, so you always want to offset it one of 2 ways. I normally use chain, but we were running low whenever we were getting our traps ready for the season, so we've got a wire set up for this one. Chain is preferable if you have chain, but whenever you have 7 or 8 dozen traps you have to get ready at the beginning of the season, sometimes you run a little bit low. In this video you're not going to see us use one, but one of the best ways to catch a beaver and to ensure that it's drowned is to use a slide wire. Like I just said, we're not going to show one in this video, but if you have the opportunity to make one or buy one, you would be much better off to do it that way. Take your stake, a T-bar works just fine, and sometimes, depending on the location you're at, it's real rocky, so just try to find yourself a good spot to drive it in the ground. You want to try to get it as close to your trap as possible. That way if you catch a beaver, you don't have to spend 5 years I'm trying to find your T-bar. The last step, you've got your trap in the ground, it's bedded firm. You've got your cable or chain out of the water. And you've got your bars securely in the ground. You need your lure. Now this is very important for this set. You cannot use just any kind of lure. It has to be a Castor-based lure. If you use a food-based lure, this set will not work. That's why it's called a Castor mound.
You stick.
Yeah, hand me a stick, pal. Take yourself a stick, get yourself a good chunk of Castor, place it on your set. And then the next part is optional. You do not have to do this. I know a lot of trappers that do it, and I know a lot of trappers that don't do it. I personally like to do it. Take yourself some guide sticks and funnel them into your trap. It just gives you a little bit added security that in the morning, whenever you come and check your trap, you'll have an animal in it that keeps them from going to the sides. And that's the finished product. That is how you set a Castor mount set.